pretty sure this pin can write, but I don't know about breaking bricks and breaking glass.
I'm worried about the bricks. Mark has some crazy idea that these pens are gonna break bricks.
Even though this competition is small, this might be one of the hardest ones we've done.
I'm feeling pretty excited about this competition. Mark's in the lead as competitions go, and this is my chance to take that belt back.
There's no way Jiren is gonna win, especially with Mr. Evil back there coming at him. He's just gonna pee his pants.
So Mr. Evil back here isn't the only one gonna take a beating today. Mark's going down.
Hey Blade HQ Nation, Jiren and Mark here, and this is Competition Defense Pens.
So what are defense or tactical pins? Well, basically they are just super beefy pins that write and can be employed as a self-defense tool. Also, a number of them have additional survival or multi-tool functions.
And we wanted to see how well they work and how much abuse they could take. So for today's competition, we built an obstacle course to put them to the test.
Well, let's see what we have in store. Since it's a pin, we start off by writing. Each contestant must copy a pre-written text word for word.
Then it's on to the assailant section, where a random color tape will be called out and the 3 target areas must be hit. The first time up, the dummy will be stationary.
Next, it's on to the glass breaking section. Once broken, it's back to the assailant.
Again, a color will be called out and the 3 target areas must be hit. But this time, the dummy will be moving back and forth.
Next up, we'll be smashing bricks. Break them and then head back for one last encounter with the assailant.
As always, a random color will be called out and the 3 target areas must be hit. But this last time, the dummy will not only be moving, but a pair of arms will be batting away the strikes.
Now that we've beaten up the pin, it's back to the writing portion to see if they still function.
Lastly, the pen must be fully disassembled and then put back together before the clock can be stopped.
And the fastest time wins.
So we both selected our pens and Mark lost the draw, so he's going first.
Okay, let's get out there. 3, 2, 1.
All right, so started up the clock, and then first stage was sitting down and writing with the pin. It is a solid pin, a bit heftier than the plastic ones that you might be used to using, but obviously that's the intended purpose. Felt like elementary school, started writing, started copying the text right next to me, and I was a little ashamed of my handwriting. It seemed kind of sloppy. Wasn't too difficult, but I tried to write as fast as I could, legibly. Finished up that segment, pushed the chair back in, and then I went to break the glass, and I was told that that was the wrong place to go to. I forgot I had to go to the dummy, so turned around, went to the dummy.
3, 2, 1.
So started the clock, went to the first area and started writing. Used the pen. It was really nice in my hand. I've got terrible handwriting, but just kind of like copying down the message, transferring it over. Completed that, then I went on to the next part.
One of the things with this charade pin is it does have the more blunt end that you could use for glass or so forth. So you could also use that to hit with, or it does have the twist pin. If you were writing with it, you could definitely use this. So I went ahead and took the cap off for my initial punch to see how it was. That's gonna penetrate a bit more than that blunt edge.
Silver.
Called a color, went forward, used the ice pick grip, boom, 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 hit those 3.
So went to the dummy for the first one, got the color called out.
Silver.
Went to attack, used the pointed side for this attack, then went on to break the glass.
So after that, went over to break the glass. I was a little nervous about breaking the glass because it's big sheet glass. It was gonna fall in big chunks. It wasn't tempered, not gonna be nice little gummy pieces that aren't gonna cut you. And I had a really big sheet. The idea was to mimic extricating yourself from a car, a locked car or a sinking car. The thickness was about what you would expect in a window. So I went up, bam, hit it. split apart, a big section broke. I jumped back, didn't want any of that hitting my feet. Made a lot of noise. A lot of breaking glass noise.
So I went up to break the glass, and I wasn't as scared of it as Mark maybe is. But I went and hit it. The first time didn't break, but I put a little chip in it, and hit it again the second time, didn't break, and I thought I'm gonna put my strength into this one, and I really smashed it, and it shattered, and went and moved on.
So after breaking the glass, I went to hit Mr. Evil again. This time I went with the blunt in rather than the pin in. I left the cap on. It was a little bit more challenging with the mannequin moving back. I think that's more like what you would find in a real life situation.
Red.
Once I went ahead and finally connected with the 3 sections, it was onto the bricks.
So went to get Mr. Evil the second time, and approached it, and him moving back and forth
Red.
made it a lot more challenging. I think I missed a couple times.
That's much harder than you think. Okay, got it.
But in the end was able to hit all the colors that were called out to me, and went on to break the bricks.
Now I will say, Jiren said we should test the bricks, but I wanted it to be a surprise to see if it wouldn't work. Didn't work.
Ow. Are you familiar with the phrase, I told you so?
I went ahead and started hammering, and I could tell right away that it was not gonna break the brick. I was using the blunt in. I don't think the ink cartridge tip really would have made a difference. If anything, it probably would have just broken the tip off that ink cartridge. I was hoping that if I hit it enough time, I could start chipping away a little line and it might break. Still wasn't gonna work. I tried all 3 bricks. None of them were gonna work. So in the midst of the timing, I just went ahead and grabbed one and broke it. We decided that we would adjust the time afterwards. We decided to let Jiren go at it. If he was successful, I would just keep my time. If not, we would adjust to the time that he did.
So when I approached these bricks, I didn't anticipate them to break at all. But out of formality, it's what we wanted to do, and we were trying to figure out how to adjust the time. So I went ahead and dented the bricks, smashed them a bit.
Broke that one.
Picked it up, broke the brick with the other one, then went on to the next stage.
So after breaking the bricks, I went to Mr. Evil for my 3rd try. He was slapping with the arms, moving forward and backwards. I think that's most likely what you would find in a real situation if someone was trying to grab you or take something from you. It's really hard to hit a precise location. You just want to go after a tender area, get away from that person, and that's what these defense pins are made for. So with a quick couple jabs, I was able to hit my targets. 1, 2, 3. I was able to get out of there and onto the last portion, the writing section again.
So the last stage with Mr. Evil was definitely the hardest stage with him moving back and forth. He called the color out, and I went to attack. I had to move those hands out of the way, try to get in there and really hit those. I missed several times, but in the end, able to hit all the color. So a person's really gonna feel that glass breaker in. We wanted to see when we were hitting those marks, so this end was more effective for me, the writing end, but if you're in a situation, this glass breaker end is gonna do some damage.
All right, so writing again, a lot like the first time. Nothing wrong with the pen. The cap still came on easily, even though we slammed it into bricks, broke glass with it, still wrote. Actually is really impressive piece. So writing the second time was a lot like the first time, but we wanted to see after the beating if it would still write, and it really did. It held up well.
So going on to the final stage of writing, I could tell my writing was way more sloppy, handwriting looked terrible with all the adrenaline, but the pen still wrote. It held up. Through everything we did to it, I could still accomplish the task.
So deconstructing the pin, you got to see a lot of the cool features with this. There's a whistle on it, also a ferro rod and a striker. So this one has a little bit more survival functions, and that's really cool. You're having a lot of features in a daily use item that you would have on you if you needed it in case of emergency. So this tactical Strayed 4 pin was really cool. It held up through a beating, used it in a functional self-defense way, as well as it has several survival features to it. In a daily use tool, those are some great things to have in case you ever got in an emergency situation.
So after the writing, the final part was to disassemble your pen and put it back together. So my Uzi tactical pen has a handcuff tool to be able to get out of a handcuff if you in that situation. It fits any handcuff, clicks in, unlocks, does the job, and it just slides right back into the pen as if you can't even tell it's there. So having this handcuff key hidden in this Uzi tactical pen would be really effective for somebody in law enforcement. So I assembled my pen, stood up to stop the clock, realized the pen wasn't in my pocket. Grab the pen, put it in my pocket, stop the clock. I'm really pleased with my time. I'm interested to see how it'll be with the adjusted time, but I'm still feeling really confident.
All right, so my time was 4:59. What was yours? Did you beat me?
Well, my original time was 7 minutes and 24 seconds, but I spent a long time trying to break those bricks. My adjusted time, when both of our break times were the same, 5 minutes, 50 seconds.
Yes.
So, no, I didn't beat you.
Well, we were pretty close up until you had to take your pen apart.
Yeah, there are a lot of parts on this pin, and actually, there are a lot of different defense pins out there with a lot of different functions, which you can check out right here.
Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to keep shopping at Blade HQ so we can keep bringing you these great videos.
See you next time.
So we set up an obstacle.
Yeah, it's an obstacle for you to say.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good thing we're not getting graded on penmanship, because I will lose that one today.
You're supposed to smack talk me.
All right, well, I'm trying to give you little things. You're feeding them. It sounded good.
Yeah, okay, pinch here. Don't try. I keep trying to grab the top, and it doesn't work.
Tyler teaches you how to do it.
I have to screw tight.
We haven't tested anything out. The only thing that I'm sure about is this pin writes and it whistles.
All right. Look up here, Mark.
I gotta remember my line.
You're like, yes, let me get my wallet.
Hold on, just a second. We have.